And we're on our way to a Lahu village. Now the Lahu, also called Muser in Thai because they are noted as hunters, live in very remote locations usually. And we are driving up a very steep mountainside track to get to the Lahu village of Kupkap, where we are hoping to see their New Year festival today. And here is some of the Lahu land which is farmed, mainly rice and corn, but other vegetables as well. But the Muser or Lahu are most noted for their hunting abilities, and therefore they are perhaps less efficient farmers than the other hill tribes, and they often work for the other hill tribes. And the language of the Lahu is the language that's spoken by all the other hill tribes, since they often employ Lahu people to work their land for them. The population in Thailand is roughly 100,000. There's about 600,000 living in China, in Yunnan, on the edge of the Tibetan plateau, which is where they originated from, and about 100,000 living in Myanmar or Burma. So we're now at the end of February, so this is the height of the dry season, and the planting of the crops will happen in a couple of months' time. So this is not an easy drive, as you can see. This is not one of the steepest bits of the road, but neither is it one of the easiest. It's a rough track of stones and pebbles, and the people in the village have to come down here and go up here if they need supplies from the nearest town. And some of them do it every day on motorbikes, which I think is amazing. So here is our trusty vehicle after its horrendous trip up the mountain and into the village of Kupkap. Right, after a horrible trip up here, up a almost vertical steep path, we've arrived. We're at a height of about 1,500 meters, which is getting on for 5,000 feet. And this is the village of Kupkap. Village of a few 500 people, and they're at the top of the mountain, and they farm the slopes around the village for subsistence farming. Also, some people actually commute from here down to the local towns and villages down this incredibly steep path every day. Now, one thing that is unusual about the Red Lahu is that they are animists and polytheistic, and they are the only tribe to actually have a temple. And you can see where the temple is by all those yellow and white flags. And we'll have a look, hopefully, inside the temple in a few minutes and see what's going on in there. So this is Mr. Anan, who is the priest of the Lahu. Now the Red Lahu, and this is a Red Lahu village, are the only hill tribe to actually have a temple to their spirits. So Mr. Anan is the Morpi or shaman, and he can talk to the spirits of the ancestors and the spirits of nature, and he can cure sickness, and is a very important member of the community. So we're now standing outside a Lahu temple. So when people are sick, they bring offerings into the temple, which I think you can just about see there. And the commonest sort of offering is a little pyramid made of mud. And if someone's sick, they present that to the temple along with a sacrifice of a chicken, or if it's more serious, maybe a pig. And that will assuage the spirits and hopefully make people better. So if you are only sick a little bit, then you present the temple with a little cylinder made of soil from your garden or your house. And if you're a little bit more sick, then you present one of these bamboo figures. It's a typical Lahu house. The Lahu are rather poorer than the other tribes, and so most of their houses are made of bamboo sheeting with a thatched roof, and usually on wooden piles to keep animals out, and there's an outside veranda, and underneath they can keep livestock, and behind there's usually a wood store, and if there are any pigs or other chickens, they'll be around. And they also grow various vegetables in the garden area, although this is the dry season, so there's not much growing at the moment. The dancing should start in about 1 hour. We're looking west over the mountains of Doi Suthep and Doi Phui and Changdao towards the Burmese border, as the sky fades from blue to pink and the day is done. This is the parade ground in the middle of the village where in an hour or so we hope we're going to see all the villagers dancing around the central post, and that is the first day of the Ladies' New Year, because they have 4 days of Men's New Year and 3 days of Ladies' New Year. That is for the Red Lahu. So at the moment nothing's happening, but in an hour or so we hope we'll see lots of dancing. So this is the Lahu New Year Festival, just beginning with the drums and the cymbals, which is the traditional music of the Lahu, dancing around the symbol of the New Year, which is the bamboo and the flags around the center. Pretty quiet at the moment. We'll get a lot busier later. Now this is the Black Lahu village of Pabor, which is set amongst these beautiful limestone cliffs and mountains way in the north of Thailand, quite close to the Burmese-Myanmar border. Now it's a typical Black Lahu village. There are 5 different groups amongst the Lahu. Now this is a typical Lahu house. They're usually built on stilts, divided into 2 sections, a living section, a veranda, and then a sleeping section, which is here. They are monogamous group, very egalitarian. There are no leaders as such. Government is run by the Council of the Elders, and age is very much venerated amongst the Lahu, who are mostly animist, although they do believe in a paramount god and many minor spirits, and they practice curing ceremonies, and most villages will have a shaman who talks to the spirit world and to the god of the land. Now this lady is wearing traditional Lahu costume. Now this is black Lahu costume with the black background and the white stripes, and she's playing the panpipes. Kun churai kap. Kun churai. Pom chu John. Kun Nano อายุเท่าไหร่ครับ90ว้าวเก่งมากคนมีชีวิตทำงานที่นี้หรือไปไหน
ไปไล่อ่ะ
ไปแม่ฮ่องสอนหรือไปแม่ฮ่องสอน
เอาข้าวโพด
เอาทำข้าวโพดเดี๋ยวนี้โอเคเข้าใจอันคุณเป็นศาสนาอะไร
มาสิงะ
ศาสนาลาหูใช่ไหม
ลาหู
ศาสนาลาหู Okay, now this is Musa or Lahu rice pounder, similar to the ones all the hill tribes use, where they take the rice from the fields and then put it into a bucket, and with a piece of wood which is hinged, they jump up and down on it, and then they break the rice up into powder. I can't see. Yeah, there we go, lovely. Very good, thank you very much. Nebonida. Now this is Musa dancing. This is sort of a more modern form than I have seen in the past. After this clip, I'll show you some of the more old-fashioned stuff, which is like this, but a little bit wilder. And for some reason, there's no boys in this lot. And usually, the boys and the girls really get mixed up together, and it gets quite wild at times. And there's always a set of drums, some cymbals, and that sets a steady beat. So where we are is about 150 kilometers north of Chiang Mai in northern Thailand, in the mountains in Chiang Rai province, where there are a lot of hill tribes, especially in this valley, which is called the Wawi Valley, where there are Lahu and Aka and Yao and Lisu villages scattered. Now this used to be an area which was pretty famous for growing opium, but exclusively now all the villages have changed from opium to coffee and tea and temperate crops more temperate crops like lychees, as well as the usual bananas and pineapples. And of course mountain rice, which is not as productive as lowland rice, but it's often a lot better for you because they eat it with the husk still on, as brown rice. And they will do this until they get into a sort of slightly hypnotized state. And that was that bit for now.